I'm going to try and use my headset today and see if this helps with the audio even more. So hopefully you guys will report back that you could hear me a lot more clearly on this video. I think the big message that's coming through today is around worthiness. It's really creeping into the experience of Kelly through a lot of the mentorships that I seem to be doing with, I work with a lot of youth, at-risk youth, as well as just have a really fun teen group that I'm working with right now with some spiritual guidance. And then I work with some at-risk teens that are working through suicide prevention, things like that. But there always seem to be themes that come through, and that's what's happening now. No coincidence. So I wanted to talk about that today. Self-worth is something that's established at a very young age. Of course, it's part of our story of time in this 3D linear appearing thing that we seem to put in our backpack of life, what seems to have come to us linearly through our lives, through our parents, our grandparents, our coaches, our teachers, our environments. We seem to store things, experiences, energies. Some call them samskaras, that seem to come with us in our backpack of life. So one could say worthiness really starts at quite a young age. Self-worth, worthiness, trusting oneself. But what I'm finding here is it's really important not to shift the focus of where it came from or even the timeline of when it seems to attach itself to our story. Those are really not important things, but we seem to want to pull those to the surface as the important critical factor, especially when you deal with Western type counseling. And I'm not by any means putting counseling down, so please hear me when I say this. A lot of counselors will sit and document from the time you were a child through the time you were an adolescent to a teenager to a young adult, etc. And they want to get a snapshot of where you seem to have built this storage of information up that makes up your map of worth, if you will. Again, I get this in packets of information, so bear with me, guys. Those storages of information about self-worth really are not coming linearly. We seem to see them that way in the story of Kelly. I was 3, then I was 13, then I was 21, etc., etc. But the reality is, again, none of that matters. But it allows enough busyness for the ego to think that's where it needs to unravel it. Can you see that? I need to go back to my 3-year-old self to figure it out. Or I need to look at my marriage and see where I took this on. Or I need to go back to my teenage years and see where I adopted this. And that's just not true, which is cool and very good to know. Oh, that's such good tea. If you guys haven't tried this tea, this is my favorite tea. It's made by Good Earth. It's called Sweet and Spicy. It's got cute little sayings on it every day. I don't know if you can see that. It says, courage is looking fear in the eye and saying, get out of my way, I've got the things to do. I love it. Love it. There's a new message on each tea bag. Anyway, I love all the good earth. There's chais, there's all different kinds, but I really love this sweet and spicy one specifically. And I make hot tea and iced tea with it. So in the collective of information that we gather about worth, we can tag ourselves to a moment that we think, aha, this is the moment. I've got fuzz in my hair. This is the moment where I seem to have attached to this idea or concept that I'm not worthy. And then we think, okay, cool. Now I can unravel it. But the reality is that doesn't matter. What matters is coming up in the moment. So as long as we're present enough to notice it, the awareness will help us unravel it, regardless of where systemically it seems to have rooted itself within our belief system. So I'll speak experientially to this. It's a beautiful person that's entered your life. The mind tells a story about them. They're better than us. I'm not worthy of that. They're going to see through us. I'm not smart enough. I'm not handsome enough. I'm not rich enough. I'm not intelligent enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy, is the story, the byline. But as you heard, there's many variations of that worthiness that can come up. And we can loop in those alone forever. But where it's sitting is in the heart. I'm not able to have is ultimately the key defining belief. I'm not able to have because I'm not intelligent enough. I'm not rich enough. I'm not articulate enough. I'm not handsome enough, But it's all sitting systemically in the heart. So that's where you're going to feel it. You're with this person, you're sitting there listening to them, and you're thinking, I can't talk to them. I'm not handsome enough. I can't go up and shoot my shot with that girl. I'm not brave enough. I can't adjust my life to be in that relationship because I'm not together enough. Guess what? It wouldn't have dropped in your experience. There's the key. How cool is that? How cool is that? And so simple. The experience, would not have dropped in your awareness. So by default, that's a lie. What a gift. What a flippin' awesome gift. God, universe, creation, whatever you call it, doesn't see you as unworthy. God put that in front of you because of your worth. So it's not about looking at that relationship, job, opportunity, experience in saying, I'm not worthy of that. It's looking at all the gaps that are telling you that you're not worthy of that need to be unraveled. We know you're worthy. It's here. They're here. God said, the partner has shown up. The job is in front of you. How cool is that? We didn't have to go search for it. It's right here. But everything in the mind wants to tell you a story of why it, they, the thing can't be yours. That's the place to work on. Not the them or the it, which is where the mind will get you in a sand trap because it wants you to go work on the dream in the dream. How do I become worthy enough to be with them? How do I become worthy enough to accept that is mine? It's here. It showed up. They showed up. Ding, ding, ding. That's your first indicator. Here is my partner. Here is my love. Here is my job. Here is my home. Here is my experience. It's here. Hallelujah. Now, what's telling me I'm not allowed to have that? What wants me to play small to keep me away from that? What fear-based thinking is trying to pop up into this experience to create a veil between this and that? There's no need to go work on them. It's all right here. Right here, right here, right here. Again, never about a them. They're here. They're your mirror. They've never been separate from you. They're reflecting exactly your belief system. If you want that to change, it's not about working on the dream in the dream, manipulating the dream in the dream, controlling the dream in the dream, putting the oars in the water and going upstream. Power versus force, exhausting yourself. It's so much simpler. Shh. What is this liar that's telling me I'm not worthy of that? Look at that. Unravel that. Is it true you're not handsome enough? Well, they sure don't think that. They're sitting here smiling, looking into your eyes, holding your hand. I'm not smart enough for this job. Well, if they don't think that, they're sitting here looking at your resume, excited and really curious about you and asking questions. I'm not worthy of this experience. Well, it doesn't think that. It's landed right in front of you. Now, certainly, if the whole energy sitting here is, I'm not worthy, and you can't move past that energy to question it so it can drop away, in the mirror, they're going to receive the reflection, undeserving. Energy pulls back. The job, desperate or uninterested. Energy pulls back. Experience, they seem distracted. Doesn't seem like this is their place. Energy pulls back. It's not from a lack of worth. It's from every energy that seems to be sitting between that which is already manifested or arisen and that which believes it's not attainable. Again, the simplicity of this is what makes it so hilarious. Are you worthy? It's here. They're here. If the energy rubber bands, it's not them rubber banding. It's this mind thing toying with the energy. Pulling it in, sending it out. Pulling it in, sending it out. The heart is saying, I love them. I love you. Ah, that's irresistible. There's no separation in that. The energy is invited in. The energy is drawn to it. The connection happens. It co-creates. The job. It's here. You're here at it. It's seeking you. That which you are seeking is seeking you. This is what Rumi's speaking about. It's always been seeking you. It never left the experience. You're not manifesting anything. It's always been here. You just can't see it clearly because the energy is bouncing in and out with all these stories about when I was 3 and when I was 10 and when I was 15 and my ex-wife and yada, yada, yada. Gotta unravel all of this. No, the teacher arrives when the student is ready. What is in front of you what needs to be unraveled. Only this. Only this right here. So who's ever been unworthy? Ask yourself, who's ever been unworthy of this love, this boundless aliveness? Who's ever been unworthy? Find it. It's not there, guys. It's not there. I love you. I just love you. And I see you. Until next time.